There we go. There we go.
Got you.
There you
Got you.
go. There you go. So, I mean, what's been popping with you, sir? I mean, it's been a hot minute. I think the
Yeah, yeah.
last time we spoke was just well over a year and a half ago now, which time
Right,
has
right.
fucking flown. So,
Man,
I don't know where the time is
crazy.
going, man.
Man, you know what's crazy is I think we spoke right before COVID.
It was May last year, and it was just 2 months before restrictions, I think, in America were
Yeah.
further lifted at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, man. So like I said, a lot has changed, man. We you know what I mean? Like I said, we had the record with me and Vito. You know what I
Yep,
mean? They hit
that's right.
we got the top, hit the top 40. Well, we got the 48. Was able to tour a little bit, you know what I'm saying, once they kind of lifted some of the COVID restrictions, and then was able to work, man, you know what I mean, working on my EP. We just finished it. It's called Highly Favored. We
Yep.
got the new record with me and J Rock and my man Eastside K Boy about to drop on the 4th. So everything's been good, bro. It's been
Yeah,
love.
it's been going on the up, especially like since COVID restrictions had lifted. Like for me
Yeah,
personally, it's just been non-stop, my bro. Like I feel like more busier now than I was before COVID ever hit.
for sure. Yeah,
Does it
for
feel that
sure.
way
Like,
for you as well?
oh man, for sure. Like, I think that, COVID kind of brought out the hunger in everybody right now. So now that we got everything restricted, man, I just been on the go, 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 go. I mean, I've been more busy, you know what I mean, than pretty much I've ever been. You know what I mean? So that's a positive thing though. You know what I mean?
100%. So I mean, how do you reflect on the time of COVID and obviously going on the other side of it now? We're back to
Right,
almost how it was like pre-COVID, and now we're just like it's almost like our mental is just like going back to business as usual, but then having to
right,
reflect on what's happened and making
right,
changes ahead of everything that's been going on for the past year and a half.
right. You know what I mean? Like, I tell people all the time, you know what I mean? COVID did justice for me.
Mm,
It did positive for me because, it made me really appreciate things a little bit more. You know what I mean?
mm,
And also, it gave me a little bit of time to slow down and kind of get my business in order, get my priorities in order. So when we were able to come back out in the public, I would be ready, focused, aligned to go. You know what I mean?
mm,
So COVID did very very good for me as far as that aspect goes.
mm. What's the biggest takeaway from all of it? What's the one thing that you appreciate the most now that we're on the other side of it?
There was a few things, man. You know what I mean? The biggest thing, um, it made me recognize that I wasn't prepared for a disaster like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like, it made you kind of look around like, yo, if the world does shut down or if the government does shut down, how prepared are you? You know what I
mm,
mean? And it really highlighted some things that really made me get some things in focus.
mm.
Um, but even also through that, man, just appreciating, the work that I do, the opportunity that I got, you know what I'm saying? The relationships and interviews like myself and you know what I mean? And it just really put on notice to just appreciate some of the smaller things that we maybe have took for granted. You know, I'm a
Mm,
I'm a, hip hop artist, man. You know, me, my one of my goals in life is to just entertain and, make sure that my peers and my fans and supporters, you know what I'm saying, get great product and have a great show and, embody dealing with me as a great person. When COVID took that away,
mm,
you know what I mean? It kind of shows you how what's the word I want to say? How blessed we was to have it. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So
mm.
definitely, you know what I mean. COVID put me on notice to just appreciate, you know what I mean, my profession. You know what I'm saying, my relationships. As even as my health. So it, it,
Wow.
it definitely put shit on notice.
Well, you definitely put a lot of people on notice because I've even seen like, I mean, let's talk about Rico Love because you've been doing
Yeah,
quite a few number of things with him as well. So
yeah.
what's going on with him?
Yeah, Rico Love is somebody that I've always admired in the music industry. You know what I mean? Of course, he's well notable for helping, write a lot of famous hits for Usher, you know what I'm saying? Chris Brown, you know what I mean? All of your major R&B acts. And, despite me being a hip hop artist from the street, I've always felt like, I made great records for women. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yes.
Like I said, i.e. the record with me and Vito and also the record with me and Eric Bellinger. So with me working on this EP and working on the album, man, it was only right for me to reach out and work with him. You know what I mean? I felt like
Mm,
he's the GOAT at what he does. And, it would be nice for him to help me deliver another female smash record, you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
to come out this summer. So, shout out to Rico Love, man, because he's definitely a talent and definitely an icon in the game.
Is that something that you're conscious of as far as like, you just mentioned about Eric Bellinger, the track with Vito that you did last year as well.
Right,
Is it something that you're conscious of being a hip hop artist, but you wanted to be as varied as possible and,
right,
being to cater to all people? So
right,
obviously like the
right.
females, the women out there, is that something you're conscious of to make sure that your music goes to everybody?
Oh no, definitely, because you know what I'm saying, that's just a part of my journey and really a part of my story. I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up in humble beginnings, you know what I mean? I came from humble beginnings, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I was able to not just grow from the street aspect, you know what I mean? But you got to understand, when I was signed to game, man, I had the opportunity to see the world.
That's right.
Life changes when you get a deal. You know what I'm saying? Your surroundings start changing, your environment starts changing. You go from a Honda to a Mercedes Benz, shit starts changing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
So, definitely for me, being so cultured and being so vibrant of that, I always make it a point to stay true to myself
Mm.
and create music, you know what I mean, for my, street level, but also, taking a little bit further and making music for women and for the world. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
And you said something there that just stuck out at me. Like yesterday's price is not today's price.
At all. It's definitely not.
You know that for sure. Like we learn that every single day, man. One thing
Man,
about you that strikes me is the captions that you put on Instagram. Like all your
yes, sir.
posts, you have so many meaningful topics, and I'm just thinking, like,
Yes,
yo,
sir.
like, yeah, we put some stuff like every single person that I see might put a caption in there just to say that we're bored or whatever, but you go on a different level when it comes to captions.
Yeah,
So
you got to, man. Like I said, man, coming out of COVID, man, I ain't got time to play for this shit. I really want to be a meaningful person.
right.
A lot of my grind and a lot of my motivation comes from people who really live this and walk this earth the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And, if I can give some knowledge or give some motivation or give some game to some of the up and comers or even just to the general population, I'm
mm.
gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's a few that stood out to me, and I just wanted to bring some out, and I just want you to tell us the biggest story in terms of what you meant when you felt by it, because there's some
For
meaningful
sure.
stuff. So the first one that came to mind is thinking to myself, don't get distracted by the noise. You know the mindset and execution that needs to take place. Stick to the script. To the script.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
What was going through your mind when we called it?
Truthfully, sometimes in this game and through this journey, man, you have to really motivate and pep talk yourself.
Mm,
The world is designed. The world is designed to knock you off of your pivot, to knock you off of your grind. You know what
mm,
I mean? And you know, I always am appreciative of small wins, but sometimes small wins and some of those success moments can you know be a bad omen to what you got going on. Sometimes we can indulge in success a little bit too much. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
Sometimes you can go platinum, you know what I mean? But if you would have stayed focused and continuously to press forward, you could have went multi-platinum. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So basically that quote was just a motivational tool to tell people like, hey, pat yourself on the back for a quick moment, indulge in that moment for just a quick moment. But
mm,
tomorrow, you got to get back to the grind. This shit is not over. You know what I mean?
mm.
Every
Wow.
day is a growing process. You know what I mean? Let's not get too lapsed or too excited about yesterday's win because, as you just said, yesterday's price is not
It's
today's
today's
price.
price. Yeah,
So so
exactly.
so
Yeah.
so everything changes, man. Like I said,
Mm.
you can go from 100 to 1, or you can go from 1 to 100. But as long as you keep going and keep going, man, sky's the limit.
It's funny you said that because literally it brings on to my next one that I just come out. It's like literally, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And literally,
For
this one,
sure.
you literally said it out the bag. You said, literally on this marathon word, literally on this marathon word to Nipsey.
Yeah, shout out, shout out in RIP to Nipsey. Nipsey was a great friend of mine. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I was able to meet him in person. We was able to work together and really, have some grown conversations. And one thing about Nipsey, man, that I learned from him, you know, I used to want to sprint out the gate. I always wanted to do the biggest and the baddest right then and there.
Mm.
And one thing learning from him was, hey, man, success takes time. You know what I'm saying? This
100%.
is not an overnight. This is not an overnight journey, man. Because you're not there tomorrow doesn't mean you're not going to get there. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And basically, I seen him condition himself, and what I mean by that was, I've seen him work. I've seen him put out music and consistently work it and work it and work it for the long marathon. And I've
Mm.
seen him go from zero to selling multi-millions of records. And I thought that was a dope thing that every artist or anybody in this business journey should align with. You know what I mean? This is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It does take time, and make sure you condition yourself for the journey. You don't want to burn
Mm.
out too early. You know what I
No,
mean?
100. You don't want to do that because I've burnt out quite a number of times in my career, and then
Me
I
too.
realized,
Me too.
yeah, we've all gone through it, right? We
Yeah.
want that goal. We want that to be faster than we've hoped for. But sometimes it's
Right.
like you get to a certain destination and certain things that you do, and you push yourself a lot, and it's just like then like your health comes into it, and it's like, oh wow, can't we just have it all in one go? But then realizing you can't sacrifice your health for the pushing. Like you said, it's
Right.
not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But
Marathon. Yeah.
but back to Nipsey, like, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned from him? Because he's one of those artists that spreads like a worldwide message and leaves it out
Yeah.
there with his legacy. So what's the biggest lesson you learned from him?
Oh man, there's many. You know what I'm saying? One of the main ones that I learned from him, man, is basically, Nipsey was an artist who was filled with grace. He always respected everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, he always was a person who had the hunger for more. He always wanted to do more. You know what I mean? But also he also wanted to empower, and he wanted to give knowledge and give information. You know what I mean, to anybody who was either trying to get into this game or was in this game. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And like I said, man, Nipsey was definitely a rare one. You know what I
mm,
mean? Nipsey is a man who lived by honor, integrity. His character was always intact, and just like everybody knows, man, his work ethic was impeccable. So,
mm.
shout out to Nipsey, man. Like I said, for giving us, you know, um, some of the blueprint and some of the knowledge to help all of us in our careers. You know what I'm saying, in this journey.
He's like the modern day Tupac in the sense where like
Yeah,
Tupac bought a legacy of his own, Biggie bought a
yeah,
legacy of his own that still carries to
yeah,
this day. And even with
yeah,
Nipsey, like you see a lot of TikToks going about that, brings a lot of quotes that he used to say in a lot of his interviews, and still that message is still being pressed on. Where like
yeah.
Tupac in particular, his music after his death, he was still releasing music like from after that,
Right,
like, and the legacy
right.
still carried on with it. So I just think
Yeah,
that I feel like it's fewer like legends that carry that torch in terms of like, something that you bring a legacy to and then it still continues on after,
right.
whether you pass or whatever. But I just think like Nipsey is a modern day Tupac and could still continue giving messages past his death that we can all relate to.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I was, kind of explaining. Like,
Yeah.
his message and his work ethic and who he was to the world was different.
Mm,
Not too many people have that type of star power. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Like I said, Tupac had it, Biggie had it, Nipsey had it. You know what I mean? Not too many people have it, man. So,
Mm.
shout out to Nipsey for sure.
Rest in peace to Nipsey. The next one I came across is I keep in touch but stay out of reach.
Yeah, man. That's my,
Ooh,
it's
ooh.
crazy because that's my favorite quote. And the reason why I say that is just because you know, you got to stay focused, man. You
Mm,
know what I mean? Everybody doesn't deserve your energy. You know
oof.
what I'm saying? And that's something that I've had to learn through my journey too. Sometimes people can drain you of the positive messages, or dim the light that you're thriving. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, again, no disrespect to nobody. Hey, I'm in touch, but I'm out of reach. You know what I'm saying? I pop in, I do what I need to do, and I'm gonna keep thriving and keep moving, man. I don't got
You
time to
got
be
me. You got
complacent.
me. I mean, like, I'm in your life. You know what I mean? I keep in touch with
For
you, so
sure,
you know what I mean. But
for
it's like we
sure.
know the balance in terms of how busy we get. So it's like just appreciating the time that we do have. So it's like you can. I'm there, but I'm not always being reach. But when we're ready, we
But
can make it work.
1,000%. You know
There
what
you
I mean?
go.
1,000%.
There you go. Last one from the quote captions, because you got a
Yeah.
lot of meaningful stuff. Humble enough to know I can lose it all. Confident enough to know I can get it all back.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah,
And that's a big quote too, man. It's just, you know, in this industry or anything that we do, man, self-belief is the biggest thing ever.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that is really the deciding and determined factor of a lot of things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, you got to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know, you gotta thrive. You gotta shine. You know what makes you think that, if you don't believe in yourself, that somebody else is going to believe in you or follow your dream, or, what I'm saying, stand on, some of the quotes and things that you do. So,
Mm.
no, I definitely believe in that. Like, that's a strong quote. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
I mean, when I heard that one, I was just like, wow, like that puts it all in perspective. It's like you could get all the jewels, the cars, the fame, the
Yeah, man.
recognition. You could lose it all, but there's always a way of bouncing back in life because life is too
Yeah,
short.
for
Wow.
sure.
Wow.
For sure.
That
For
just caught me
sure.
off guard. I was like, whoa, that is some mean. Like, I had to really dig that and thought, what the fuck? Wow.
Hey,
Meaningful shit,
dropping
bro.
them gems on 'em. Dropping them
Like
gems
you
on 'em.
do, like you do, and,
You know?
that's what I look for. I look for gems for people that I talk with all the time, and I always apply that to day life. So thank you for those captions.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I mean, there's one person that I didn't get to talk to you about last time, and I wanted to
Okay.
bring him up. Rick Ross.
Yes, sir.
So of course, like, I know that you guys are pretty cool with each other. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
like the post that was pinned at the top of your profile. You was popping bottles in the club. I
Yeah,
think it was like you
yeah,
had a cigar and he was vibing and all that stuff, doing all that VIP shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Sometimes we gotta do it.
It's got to be done. You got to swag it out
Yeah.
a bit. But I know that obviously, he's been coming to London many times, and
Yeah,
he's always
man.
appreciating entrepreneurship and
Yeah,
talent, and those hustlers and big bosses out there. And that's something I know you look for as well, because obviously you got the Evans administration T.
yes, sir.
You've been putting that out there for a while.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing with your time with Rick Ross, you've taken a lot of gems from him and applied that to your day-to-day life as well. But
for sure.
talk to me about your first time meeting him. What was the scenario? How did you get to meet, and how did you build to having a really, really good friendship over the years?
It's crazy that you say that. The first time I met Ross was in LA.
Right,
I was in LA at the time working on the EP. He came in, he had a concert, and we stayed at the same hotel.
right.
Of course, we got mutual friends, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up seeing each other at the bar, had a drink, and then we just got to talking life. I
Mm,
necessarily just didn't start talking music at the time.
right.
We were just talking life, you know what I mean? The conversation spilled over to some entrepreneurial talk, you know what I mean? He owns a lot of the wing stops, he owns the
Yeah.
Checkers, and he owns the Bel Air and stuff like that. And I was kind of telling him that, I was kind of mimicking my portfolio kind of similar to his. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
wanted to get into the beverage space. You know what I mean? I wanted to drop some more albums. You know what I mean? I wanted to tour a little bit heavy. I wanted to get into the food space. So, it was just a great organic conversation. And then I told him I was there working on the album, and I wanted to do a collab or something. You know what I mean? I definitely wanted him on it. You know what I mean?
mm,
So he got done doing what he had to do, and we ended up linking up, played some music for him. He loved it. We ended up doing a record, actually, you know what I'm saying? That's coming on my EP called Highly Favored. That'll be out in June. And we just kind of kept it solid from there, man. You know what I mean? I went on tour with him for a while. I was able to kind of, really get in depth to how he handled his business, kind of what he
mm,
what he did. You know what I mean? And
mm.
and honestly, man, you know what I mean? I took some of them gems and utilized them and put them to my own personal career in self. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, again,
So
similar to Nipsey, like, what's the biggest gem that he's given to you that's allowed you to, to keep persevering and make more better from yourself from that respect?
right, yeah. Like I said, that's just being conditioned for the marathon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just
Right.
you know what I mean? This is not to be a superstar or to be an icon or to be somebody of that magnitude that doesn't happen overnight. It takes a
Mm,
great body of work. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of consistency and it takes a lot of time. And the only way
Mm.
you're going to get there is just being, consistent on that marathon, man. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
And when was the first time that you met Rick? Rick, when was it that you first met each other?
Well, I met Ross before when I used to be signed with Game. I met him at the
Right.
BET Awards, but when I was able to really, like I said, stand up, meet him in my own entirety and be able to really have a conversation about things that I had going on and things that I was building. That was maybe, like I said, a little bit before COVID, so maybe a
Right.
couple years
Okay.
ago.
So not that long ago, like, but the vibe that you bring to the table is it felt like that you've known each other for years. The way
For
the
sure.
relationship, because obviously I could tell that a lot of all your collaborations, a lot of all your interactions with people, like signing with Game, meeting all
Yeah.
these legends like Kendrick Lamar, Shine, all these people that you've met that we talked about before. I guess it's
Yeah. Yeah.
all been organic in your case.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think that that's just how things blossom. I mean,
Mm,
organicness is just the easiest testimony to growth. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like I said, when you and a person are on the same page,
mm.
um, sky's the limit from there. You know what I mean?
Mm. And I guess like you being around Rick with Rick Ross, I guess your friendship was never affected because I mean obviously this is like the later stages now, like the past 2 years that you've
Yeah,
really known him, but
yeah,
obviously we've all known over the years that you signing with Game, there was at time his beef with 50, and then obviously with
yeah, yeah.
50 there wasn't a lot of love between him and Ross.
Right.
But what seems to be ironic about the case is that for you, that's never affected you in terms of your friendships that you built. So
Nah.
being whatever the situation has been, like obviously 50 and Ross seem to not get on. I don't know what the situation is now. How has that allowed you to still be cool with people like Ross, and still keep going with that without having it letting it affect you?
Oh man, I think that just comes from being a genuine person and just being being authentic. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I think that at the end of the day, man, everybody knows, man, that I just come with a lot of honor, integrity. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the same situation I was talking about Nips. His characteristics and his traits spoke for itself. People wanted to align themselves with that type of energy. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And I think that I got a pure energy, and I think that even Ross, I think Ross wanted to align himself with that type of energy. So I
mm,
think that's why our friendship is what it is, you know what I'm saying, personal and business wise,
mm. No, but and I can see that literally, like again, all the relationship you had, no matter what's been going on, you've just been like on the same level, consistent. And I guess that's like why everyone gravitates towards you, no matter what shit's going down.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
uh,
Yes, sir.
and that's the vibes that I love. I love that when energies are pure, and it's just like
Yeah.
you know what, I ain't gonna let this shit affect me. No, you got your problems over there, and I keep myself
Right.
over here. I'm
Right.
here, but I'm out of reach,
I'm
like you said.
hey, I'm here, but I'm out of
There
reach
you
for
go.
sure.
There you go. And
Mhm.
and speaking of the game, because obviously we went in depth last time about how you guys met and how you worked together,
Right.
but there was a recent thing that happened. Obviously the game had been on Drink Champs. I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
seen it.
of course, well, I mean, he's your friend, of course. And the one thing that stood out was that he said that he's better than Eminem, and he made a diss track not long after to Eminem about the Black Slim Shady. This is what I wanted to talk to you about before, like earlier when
Right.
it was fresh happening, but obviously we're here now, we're talking about it. I mean, did you hear about all that stuff? And like, do you like, because I think that was leading towards like an idea for the game versus Eminem, like in the verses, right?
Right. Yeah, here's the thing, I mean, Game has a lot of admiration and has a lot of respect for Eminem.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was one of the founding fathers who helped build Aftermath with Dre. So, I think that situation with him was more of a, I want to say, a marketing
I was
ploy.
literally gonna say that. I was
I,
literally just
I,
gonna say that.
and because I know that Game is a fan of great music.
Of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
100%.
You know, despite the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? He listens to the great great albums, you know what I mean? From Jay-Z to Nas to Dre to Eminem, you know what I mean? Anybody great, Game definitely aligns itself with to listen to and learn some things from. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
So so as far as that go, man, I look at it from the standpoint of just I thought it was just a marketing ploy. I know the game has a lot of respect and admiration for Eminem. I mean,
Mm,
Eminem is broke probably not all, but if mostly most of the hip hop, you know what I'm saying, uh uh records and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I mean, I think that, he just did that as just a ploy to kind of, show his skill set in other ways. But I don't think that it's no real beef or no real
Yeah, yeah,
turmoil
yeah, yeah.
between them.
I think because where you said about market employer, I felt the exact same way when I watched it because I was thinking like, there's no way that he can really feel that beat between him and Eminem because that love is there. I just felt like it was, oh, I want to push myself. I want to see if I can really
Exactly.
push the boat and kind of like get, and it got people talking. We're talking about this now, so he really did
Right.
it. He did his job. So, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, no, no, 1,000%, 1,000%. I think that, like I said, that's what it was for. And like I said, you're right. It got us talking about it right now. So it,
yeah.
it, it really did its job.
And he's on. And I'm hearing about off topic with the game as well. Like I'm hearing that like he will be touring in December, and I think he'll be down in
Yeah,
London in December. But are we
right.
looking at this as the last album that he's ever going to do? Because there was reports of like the game slowly stepping away from music. Is that true to say?
I mean, to this point, I mean, he still says that it's his last album. You know what I mean? He
Mm,
still says that, it's his last time going out. I mean, do
mm,
I believe it? I don't know because, at the end of the day, man, if you love music, you love music. You know what
mm.
I'm saying? And I don't think that you can just turn that switch off like that. Maybe he may take a break, he may take a hiatus for a long time, but I don't know if it'll be his last album. But from from what he tells it right now, it is.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a WWE person, but for me, the way I look at it is that in the world of professional wrestling, right, when people say they're retired, they're not really retired. Give it a couple of years
Right,
and then they come back for one last match or one last approach and stuff like that. So for me, for the
right,
game, I mean, he's still in his prime, and I
right.
just don't feel that. Can we really see it as his last album? But who knows? Who knows? He could be
Who
hanging
knows?
out
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real. It could be hanging out
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real.
I mean, I think of it just how you do. Like I said, he's a great artist. I
Yeah.
I, I think he's in his prime still. I still think he has some more in the tank, but
Mm.
maybe he just needs a little bit of, he's been at this for a long time. Maybe he just needs a little vacation and a little recharge before he gets back to it. But who knows? We'll see though.
Who knows? Who knows, man? The world is so out there at this point. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So who
For
knows?
sure.
Talk to me about Glasses Malone. I know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he's had a big influence on you. So how has
yeah.
Glasses Malone like brought that impact to you?
Man, shout out to the big homie G Malone. Now G Malone was just a person from the West Coast who was one of them ones who, kind of paved the way. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? He was one of the few people who really came from the hood and got it from the mud, and was, showing younger cats like myself and some of these other artists that it's attainable. You know
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? He's always kept it true to his roots. You know what I'm saying? And he's always kept that respect, not just in the industry, but also in the streets. And that's a hard balance to keep.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So he's definitely somebody that I do and that I have watched from afar. And like I said, man, somebody that I can get some gems and nuggets from to kind of, put into my arsenal to continuously help me grow, help me progress.
and then you continuously progressing, but even down to like touring the world. We spoke heavily last time about touring the world with game, and I found out that the reason why that you're such a worldly person is because you know correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been like to multiple places, like living in like from New Mexico to Germany to Italy to
Yeah,
like a air base force in Arizona.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So how did those moves come about? I mean, must have been early stages, and was it like family
yeah,
moves? Was it like a family decision for all those moves to be
yeah,
made?
yeah, yeah, definitely. My father was in the military growing up. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, I lived overseas. I lived in some of these remote areas and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm blessed to do so because it gave me a sense of understanding to know that there's more out there in the world. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it gave me an understanding to know that just there's better. You know what I'm saying? If you can put your mind to it. So
Mm,
shout out to everybody who's ever been in that type of position. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? That had to move around a lot and had to get up and resurface and reconnect and rebalance. But it's definitely something that I appreciate. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying, and it's something that I definitely utilize. With my business and personal stuff to this day.
And I guess it like prepared you for like, all those moves you made as early stages must have prepared you for
Yeah,
like all the tours that you've done, going all
yeah,
over the world, and you just think like,
yeah,
it's just another day at the office. I'm used to it.
yeah. 1,000%. Like I said, it kind of just helped me mentally and helped me emotionally deal with some of that grind that I had coming up.
Mm. And are you still a b-baller? Because I'm hearing that you've been playing through college and school and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I was definitely nice with the rock. I mean, I still shoot from time to time. I still go out there every now and then whenever my time permits. It's kind of like rhyming, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll always be in your blood. Basketball will always be in my blood. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
may not play it to the level that I used to, but like I said, man, I still go out there to get a couple runs up and down the street to get some cardio in and
Yeah.
sometimes just to see if I got it, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely.
Are you?
Definitely.
And I guess you're just hardcore for the Phoenix Suns. That goes without question.
Truthfully, I am a fan of the Phoenix Suns, but I got to be honest though, my main team is the Lakers. I'm a Kobe guy. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I
Kobe,
mean, rest
yeah,
in peace to
Kobe,
Kobe.
yeah, man. Kobe was very instrumental just in everything that I did, man. I just think his mindset and who he was as a person just, you know, thrived. It's kind of
Mm,
going back to that Nipsey and Tupac situation,
there
man.
you
Like,
go.
his energy and kind of who he was so infectious that it grew on me. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
and I just love the way he played. I love the way he led. And most importantly, man, I just love, what I'm saying, his thought process and hunger for more. So
Mm.
RIP to Cole, man.
Yeah. Bit of a controversial question, but who's the greatest basketball player of all time, in your opinion?
I'm gonna give it to Michael Jordan for sure. That's not even an argument. But
Yeah.
the argumental conversation is Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron, bar none. So
Wow.
I go Mike, I go MJ, I go Kobe, then I'll go
There go
LeBron.
LeBron. Wow. Okay, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, you got that for Kobe, so you feel like, yeah, good second. You know what I mean? Like LeBron is there, but
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah,
give it to Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Nah, Kobe was the best thing. You know what I'm saying, that in my eyes that I've seen play to that high level for so long and so consistent, like
Mm,
Jordan. He had the
yeah.
killer instinct, and he was the person who whatever he put his mind to, he achieved. So I definitely respect that.
Well, big up to all the legendary basketball players still like killing it to this day now. You mentioned in our last chat that you were looking to work with new talent, obviously under
Yeah,
your business T.
yeah.
Where are we at the moment? Like, what's happening as far as like because you're leading it. I'm guessing you got a few
Yeah.
artists under your belt. So what's going on with that?
Oh man, we're definitely getting there, man. Like I said, now that we're out of COVID and we got these new releases dropping, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got the Pressure record right now that's coming out November 4th. Pre-say my pre link is in my bio. Make sure you guys click that. But definitely, man, like I said, after I set this foundation, we got a couple artists in mind that we've been working with right now that we're not going to reveal just yet because we still want to get the
Ooh,
paperwork right.
okay.
But everything is still in line, and we do got some artists we're going to help promote and help get out there to the world, man, and try to see if they can be the next star.
And then have you pulled up a more game in terms of UK artists? Because I remember you said last time you come up across a guy called Mickey who is Haitian based in Brixton.
Right.
Have you followed up on that? And have there been other artists that you've been hearing since the time we spoke last?
Yeah. There's been a couple of different artists that I had the opportunity to meet, and there's I was able to meet the guys at Gigs.
Gigs, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Had an opportunity to meet Gigs. I thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? He has definitely a buzz over there, and he's definitely known here. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I think that's super heavy. There's a few other artists out there that I've ran across that in the building a relationship with, but I think once I come over there, you know what I'm saying, and rock out, it'll be a little bit more easy, a little bit more face to face. You know what I'm
Of
saying, to
course.
blend with some of the UK artists.
And speaking of gigs, like obviously he's been able to go to America now for the past couple of years. Now he's able to travel much more. So where did you guys meet on face to face? Or like how did it come about? Like for you, or is it not
Oh
come
yeah,
to that yet?
Oh yeah. No. He was in New York and I was in New York. You know what I'm saying, actually, and we ended up crossing paths. You know what I'm saying. He actually, I don't know if he was messing with The Rock, but I know he has some type of relationship. And at that time, I had a couple people who do management over at Rock Nation. And
Mm.
like I said, man, I was in the building and we ended up coming down. We met, spoke briefly, and that was it. But I think in due time, once this new music come out and I get the torn, I'll end up running into him again. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to talk music and maybe a collaboration. So
I've been hearing about and obviously of course with like there's an artist called Central C that we have in the UK of the UK drill scene. He's killing it in America at the moment as well. Like I don't know
good
if you had
shit.
to see that freestyle that he did one of the radio shows recently, but
Oh
like
yeah. Uh he did it with in LA, right?
I believe so. Yes, yes. See, I think he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
in LA
yeah.
at the time. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah,
killing it
yeah.
as well. Like, have you been hearing like of the UK drill scene? I mean, we spoke about it before, but like, has there been more expansion on that? Like, have you
Oh, for
elaborate more on
sure.
that? Yeah,
Oh no, for sure, for sure. Like I said, I mean, for it to start getting marketability out here in the United States and some of these big markets like New York and LA, I mean, the UK drill scene is definitely, what I'm saying, thriving and popping right now on a global level.
hmm
Also shout out to the boy KSI. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I was actually at his boxing event 2 days ago.
Yeah,
His event Misfits Boxing. So he's killing it in the boxing scene as well, and that fan base is nuts for it. So yeah, KSI,
yeah.
the music as well.
Yeah, shout out to KSI. We haven't had the opportunity to meet in person as of yet, but we have mutual people connected. You know, he came out to America a few months back, and I think
That's
he was
right.
doing some work out there in Vegas. And actually, I was supposed to go out there and see him, but I was in New York at the time, so our time didn't even work. But like I said, salute and respect to KSI. You know, he's one of the names from UK that's really out here buzzing and making it impact too.
Have you actually like connected fully yet, or is it just like you said with mutual friends that you know at the moment?
Yeah. So again, like we haven't fully connected yet. Well, his manager and my manager are like close friends.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So I know that they hang all the time. But like I said, at the time that he did just come this last time, I was in New York handling some business, and he was out on the West Coast. And by the time that I was going to be done, he was already going to be gone. But I'm gonna make sure whenever I touch down in the UK, we me and KSI link up, or like I said, next time he come out here, I'm gonna make sure that I'm able to move him through the city and blend it a little bit.
Yeah, just curious on my end as well. I could foresee that you could be a great actor. Just what I mean, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking like because a lot of musicians like whether actors have gone into music, musicians are going to acting. I just got a vibe that you could work somewhere within the acting realm as well. Is that something
Oh,
you ever
definitely.
considered?
Oh man, definitely. Like I said, man, once we that's kind of like on the next chart that we got going on. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
said, once we drop these records and really light up these Billboard charts, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and slowly make a segue. You know what I'm saying, into the movie, into the movie lane and get some of these roles, man, and show off my acting chops a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you ever study it in school? Was it something that you tried out, or is it saying that it's just been music all the way?
Nah, it was just music all the way. I mean, I think that I do have a natural act to it, you know what I mean? And just to be honest, you know what I mean, to show a lot of respect to a lot of the other, actors and stuff like that. I mean, I know that you got to put that work in,
Hundred
you know what
percent.
I mean, and really have a acting coach and things like that. So I'm gonna put my time in and get an acting coach, man, and see what comes about it, But I do also think that I do organically, what I'm saying, have a good energy for the screen. So we're gonna definitely see what happens.
I mean, you definitely do. I mean, it shows in a lot of your music videos, and even down to like all the photos you take, the styles that you play out.
Man,
I can imagine almost like a boss, like a boss figure, like
yeah.
in a movie
No,
or something. I
definitely,
can imagine like with the cigar in your mouth, almost reminiscent, like in my head, just thinking about it. Like The Godfather, one of the greatest movies of all time. That does
definitely,
that sort of vibe, but maybe in a modern twist way and something different.
definitely.
I don't know. Like, I mean, what sort of
Hey, what?
role? What sort of role would you want to do though? Like, what would be your dream role?
You know what? To think about it, my dream role would be. I mean, of course, I would want some action packed. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
put me in one of them action Will Smith roles or something. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, but no, definitely, a boss look. You know what I'm saying? Would definitely fit. You know what I mean? Even a comedy would work. You know what I mean? I just would like to show, a solid skill set and that I
Mm,
can really do it and knock it out the park. So,
mm.
hey, all of y'all agents out there, man, make sure soon y'all, check on me because I'm definitely about to get in that acting space.
Hey, well, there you go. You see it there? Get at him.
Yeah.
Get at him. See, hopefully we can see him more of on TV screens. Yeah, I can even imagine,
Come
like, I
on.
don't know, like maybe crime dramas as well, because like
Oh, definitely.
I'm a big crime drama buff. I love watching Law and Order SVU,
Me
especially.
too.
Yeah,
Me too.
I mean, because like 24 seasons going in, I'm thinking like Jesus Christ, like you know
Yeah.
what I mean? In history, it's like 1999 to now, and it's still going. Like, what other drama do
Man.
you know does that?
Man, I'm telling you, that shit is like it feel like it's been on since I was born. You know what I mean? For real.
Yeah,
That
before
shit's
that, my
amazing.
grandmother's time, you know what was there?
Come on, like damn, my grandma was raised on this shit. Now I am too. I get it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what clicked it for me was when my grandmother passed away a few years ago.
Oh man,
The fir-
condolences.
no, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. The first thing I did when I heard the news, I went straight up to my nan's place, and I was consoling my mum and things like that. And the first thing that came on the TV was Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and ever since then, it's been a trigger. And now I'm obsessed. I want more. Just give me more on the screen, please. Give me more.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We watch that shit all the time. It's super addicting for sure.
Yeah, yeah. What are your top five movies of all time for you?
Sheesh. Um, Gladiator.
Wow. Are you
You ever
not
seen that?
entertained?
Oh my God, that shit's so legendary, my guy. Like
Yes,
I can watch
yes.
that shit like every month on everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say Gladiator. There's a movie called Paid in Full.
Okay, I've heard about it.
That's, yeah, it's with Cameron, Mackay Fife. It was directed by Dame Dash. Um,
Dame
I
Dash, he's
would
just
also,
literally come to London recently as well. He's always over here.
yeah, Dame. I would also say Troy.
Okay, okay.
Um,
That was with
I,
Chris Hemsworth, wasn't it? Or was
no,
that
that was
no?
with Brad Pitt.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Thor. With
Thor. Yeah,
Chris
yeah, yeah,
Hemsworth.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. Brad Pitt was Troy. Yeah, there we go.
yeah. And then I would say Scarface.
Wow.
And then there's a movie called The Boss of All Bosses. A lot of people haven't seen it because it was an independent film, but
Mm,
it was probably one of the most inspiring movies to me. It's a mafia movie actually. It's about Paul Castellano, who was the mob boss before John Gotti. You
right.
know what I mean? And it just really spoke about how he built the Italian mob, where he had them very business based. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm,
owned restaurants. They owned shit, damn near half of America at that point. You know what I mean? But it just, this shows a lot of character traits of honor, loyalty, respect, you know what I'm saying, and things like that, similar as The Godfather. And
mm.
then one last one I would say, just, you know what I mean, for my female ladies out there, there's a movie called Pretty Woman. You know what I'm
Well, that's a
saying?
legit. Like Julia Roberts. Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know what I mean? Definitely, you know what I mean? Pretty Woman was one of the movies that I fucked with too. So,
Wow, so
yeah.
quite varied as well. So it's not like just one genre. Like your
Yeah, nah.
amalgamation of all things.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely a movie buff, man. Like I said,
Wow.
yeah, it's yeah.
Is there anything that you're watching on Netflix or Amazon right now that you're hooked on?
Yeah, yeah. So I just finished the Jeffrey Dahmer.
Everyone's
You know
on
what I'm
that. I
saying?
haven't caught up with it yet. Yeah, I heard it's
Yeah,
buzzing.
yeah, yeah. It's dope. It's super, super dope. I mean, it's unfortunate because I'm sure it has brought up a lot of hurt feelings from some of the people's families who was murdered. But it did put me on a lot of insight. You know what I mean, of shit that I didn't even know. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So definitely was very knowledgeable on that.
mm,
There's another show on Hulu called The Handmaid's Tale.
right.
That's is something that I've been watching. And then what else? Shit, I think that's about it. I think
Mm.
that's what I'm really watching right now. The rest of the time, man, I'm in the studio trying to get to this money.
Get
But you
that
know,
boss
that's
level
it.
shit.
You
You know
know
what I
what I
mean?
mean? Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Get to the
I'm out
money,
here.
bruh. Huh?
Come on, man. I'm
Come
out
on,
here trying
man.
to get to that money.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? TV can come later. Let me get that cash.
Let me get to that money.
You know what I'm saying? Um, I wanted to ask you. I don't know if asked you this before, but still movie related. If your life was a movie, what would it be called?
Mm.
Shout out to Jack Thriller, by the way, because he's been legend in asking that question. But I thought, let me ask you.
You know what? I would have to say, I don't want to say progression, but I would say,
See, you got me thinking as well.
right. I'm over here like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
because you know,
yeah,
there's a lot of episodes to my life. You feel me?
yeah. I get
So
it.
I'm trying to figure what would be the most
Ooh,
authentic
yeah,
word I can come up with. You know what I'm saying? You know, truthfully, I mean, I don't know. Probably, you know, the realness.
yeah.
You know what
You
I mean?
can't get any better than that, really.
I'll
Like I
just
was going to say authenticity as an
yeah, yeah.
idea.
I just name it the realness. You
The
know what I'm
realness.
saying? Just be about a kid, man, who just you know believed in himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rolled the dice and came into the world and turned nothing into something, and unapologetically kept it authentic.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm.
The
Bring
realness.
it. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Uh,
Man,
and who would get to play you in the movie?
me, I would get the boy from what's the boy from The Shy. I probably would get the boy Jacob Lattimore. I think that's his name.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would get Jacob Lattimore to play me for sure.
All right. Well, this is going to be a tagline on Instagram, and I'll just be tagging Jacob. Say, yo,
Yeah,
you got a job. You got a job.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, thank you so much for taking the time as always, brother. Like, second time. Hopefully the
Yes,
next
sir.
time that you come down, we're actually meeting this time as he face to
Facts.
face. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Get
sir.
them fish and chips, get them Nando's going in as you so
Get the
liked.
Nando's,
Yeah,
all that.
what was it? The flavor? Was it Perry Tamer? Was it like what was it? What was the flavors that you were liking before that we
You
talked
doing the
about?
chips?
No, for the Nando's.
Oh, I got the medium peri sauce.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Fire.
Fire, man. I haven't been to Nando's for a while, but like, fish and chip shop, I'll take you to my local as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
so when are the plans for you to come to London? Because we have spoken on and off that you were
Yeah,
coming this year. Is that still a plan? When are we looking towards it, bro?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Like I said, right now, like I said, we got the new record with me and J Rock and Eastside K Boy dropping on the 4th.
Yep.
Like I said, we got the highly favorite EP dropping in January. So like I said, it'll be probably the top of the new year. But I'll definitely be there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make sure, man, I come and spread a lot of love. I'm gonna make sure I come and do the fish and chips. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make sure I do the Nando's. I'm gonna make sure definitely we get a drink and we get the rock out, brother. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Because I think you said Hennessy was your go-to.
Fucking right.
You're
Hennessy's what
too
it
damn
is.
right. That's what I say. I got good memories just about like my old age getting to me. I think like I still remember that. That's a weird thing to remember
Definitely.
what someone's favorite drink is. That shows a lot, isn't it?
Nah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll get that drink in. We'll get that fish and chips in. And yeah, I'll hit you up on the DMs anyway. But no, thank you so much,
Yeah,
brother, for always taking the time, man. I appreciate it. We got here. I know you're busy, guy. So am I now. But we got it. We got it. We got it in.
man. Like I said, I appreciate the hospitality, man. Everybody out there, make sure you follow me at Who It's Richie on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Spotify. You know all your Deezer. You know anything you guys got going on. And like I said, man, make sure you click the pre-save link with me featuring J Rock and Eastside K Boy called Pressure coming out on November 4th. So holla at me, man.
Hey, you literally did my job. I was literally going to ask you, like, if you can tell our audience, but I might as well remove that as part of my my thing, as part of my shtick now, because you've taken it. So
I
you knew
got
what
it.
I was coming with. So,
I mean, I got it.
all right, man. Well, God bless you. I wish you all the best, man, and hopefully I get to see you next year, and then let's hit it up, bro.
I got you, my brother. I appreciate the time.
All right, always, man. Good luck, bro. All the
Bye bye.
best.